Chocho Homestead. We are hanging out today talking about baby goats.
Woo!
Because we had some born. And we're going to talk about getting ready for like milking and why we bottle feed. So that's just a little bit of what we're going to touch on today.
Make sure you stay tuned until the very end of the video because we have a very fun surprise for you.
But first, it's the weekend. So we have to do highs and
and
lows. So you want to go first?
Sure. Our highs are going to be the same probably. Baby goats being born.
Yeah.
Since I'm going first, I'm going to steal the thunder and talk about when they were born.
Fine.
So the due date, based on like when we saw the mating and everything happening, we were like, okay, Sunday, the 9th, like this weekend. So we were kind of prepared for this weekend. So, I mean, we didn't really schedule any projects for this weekend because we were like going to be dealing with that. Well, they came Friday, so
Not ready.
we were like ready, but not ready.
Right.
We
Not
didn't have like
mentally
all of our
prepared.
stuff
Yeah.
out, like ready to go. Cass came out and was doing hay for the cow behind us, and was like, "Oh, there's goats," and I'll let her tell the rest of it because I honestly wasn't here, so
Yeah.
I mean the story really is more yours. But the short of it is, all three of them went into labor at the same time. And so it was a little bit chaotic, but we got 7 beautiful baby
babies.
Nigerian dwarfs out of our 3 does. Lots of moon spots on several of them.
Yes.
So again, they're up for sale. So if you're looking for goats, hey, they come from great milking lines and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
they really are a very good quality goat for Nigerian dwarfs. So
Yeah.
that was my high. I think my other high is we're making chili this weekend.
Yes.
So we always do like one big batch in the wintertime. So we're doing that batch today. It's a little bit later. Normally make it a little bit earlier, but it's been so warm that's like, I don't want chili. But
Yeah.
it's temperatures have dropped here, and the rest of this month is supposed to be pretty cold. So I think it's a good time to go ahead and get that going. So might bring you along for a part of that. My low is probably that we lost one of our babies.
Totally stole my low too.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
That was my low. Do have 7 healthy babies, so that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
and there's always a risk, that you're gonna lose one during birthing. So
Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
So my high was, of course, the babies. I was cleaning out the hay, and we're switching out our hay. So I walked over to the house to get something, and I saw this little itty bitty goat. And I was like, wait a second. It like took
That's not
a little
supposed to be in the
bit.
pen.
Yeah, it took a little bit to process. I was like, wait a second. Like, is that a goat or what? And then I started hearing the little bleating sounds. And I called the kids because Jeremy was gone. And they've been through it before, the older girls have, so they know the routine. And so they came barreling into the goat house or the goat run, and we just kind of needed to assess the situation. So it was clear that 2 had given birth and 1 wasn't. So I thought, okay, good. We'll just do these 2. We'll deal with these 2. And while we're trying to kind of make sure everyone's okay and healthy, all of a sudden, Elsa starts laboring, and we start going at it again. And so it was really exciting, but a little overwhelming to have 3 does going through the process at once. We had just bought the hay to get the like milk house ready for like a nice birthing place for them. That
We're
did
gonna
not
be
happen.
that's where our birthing center.
Yeah.
We stage them, and they were gonna be put in there starting
Yeah.
Friday night. But
Yep. But it didn't happen, so it's fine. It was fine. My love, of course, was as Elsa gave birth to 1 when I was actually inside trying to get milk stuff ready, and we pull the babies and we milk the moms out and bottle feed the babies, and we'll kind of go into why later. But I was trying to get all that stuff ready, and the girls start saying, Elsa had a baby, and it came out head first, and I was like freaking out because you sometimes need to assist. So I came
not the way they're supposed to be born.
not
If you
the
don't
way-
know that,
yeah,
you want those hooves to come out first.
yeah, not the nose or the crown of the head. And then she started laboring again when I was in there, and the baby was coming out again head first, and it was clear that something had happened in the birthing process and it was not alive. But then it got stuck, and she was having a really hard time delivering that baby, so I had to assist. And that's always just, it's sad, you know. And I'm fairly new at delivering goat babies, so when it wouldn't come out, I didn't really know what to do. So thankfully, Jason from GoDaddy's Farm is just amazing, and he FaceTimed with me and he walked me through the process. Again, having a mentor, a farm mentor, is almost necessary. Like, it's invaluable. I don't know how I would function without him to help me. So this is the second time we've had kind of a FaceTime with the delivery, and he's done a great job both times. But then she had a third, and it was healthy, and it was great. So that was hard, but the rest of them were great and healthy, and the deliveries were fine. So
yeah. And that's one thing she mentioned, like just having him as kind of a farm mentor. Mm-hmm. He laughs when we call him that, but that's really is what he is.
He is.
If you guys don't, if you're homesteading and you don't have that, even if you feel like you've got everything kind of under control, I would strongly encourage you to find someone who's been doing it longer that can just be there for those questions, because like in that case, it was way cheaper than calling a vet.
Yeah. and faster. He got to me in like 10 minutes. So.
And he knew the goats were due this weekend, so he was already kind of on standby in case something like that happened. So, but anyway, it just a mentor in any sense of, especially if you've got livestock, is just invaluable. I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, those were my highs and lows. I'm really excited. The babies are beautiful. So we'll show you them later.
Yeah, stay tuned. If you guys like this material, give it a thumbs up. We really do like to kind of get your feedback on that, so that we know like what you guys are wanting to see or what you enjoy. Comments are always welcome. We love responding to those and seeing you guys' comments and stuff like that. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So I need to go ahead and get that chili started. So I'm gonna bring you guys along for that. This is like a family recipe. It's not anything like some fancy family recipe, but it's just kind of that nostalgia of it, and it's one that we've always have made. So I always get excited when we make it. Yeah.
Well, and another thing that's fun is we do have some cave beans that we're putting in the chili this year that were grown on our homestead. So that's really fun and exciting. So
all the tomatoes, I think this is the first time we've made it with like 100% of our tomatoes in there.
And the deer meat actually came from Jeremy's uncle.
And the other like thing that I might weirdly be most excited about is all of the spices that go in there. Well, 90% of the spices that go in there were grown right here. We made them and all that stuff. So it's just exciting. Yeah. If you homestead, you understand it. But yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun to make that. I am prepping our batch of chili for the year. Typically, you make one big batch. So we still have tomatoes that were frozen from last year's crop. So I am steaming and skinning those so that we can use them. One thing that's been kind of fun having a wood stove is taking advantage of that energy. So the beans are actually on the wood stove cooking down, getting ready to be added to all the goodness and all the yumminess that makes our chili. That's kind of fun. And it also has the house smelling really good. Our chili recipe is one that we have made for years, and if I remember correctly, I think it's actually my grandmother's recipe that she used to make. Pretty basic, but a lot of flavor. So our family loves it. It's kind of one thing that I love is being able to use food that we grow here and not have to rely on using canned stuff. We got to rinse off all the sodium and all that stuff. And obviously, it just tastes fresher. So as soon as I get these done, I'm going to take you guys over to show you our high. Okay, so yes, here's our high, the baby goats. This is 3 of the 7. If it looks like we're inside and sounds like we're inside, it's because We are inside. So we don't have a barn out here, so when they're born and it's cold outside, we do have to bring them in, and we just put them in these nice little pack and plays. So what we want to talk about is why we choose to bottle feed as opposed to letting them be dam raised. So one of the reasons is because we can sell them faster. We don't have to wait for them to be weaned off of the mom before they can go to a new home. When you bottle feed them, they can go as early as really 2 weeks. You could go earlier than that, but we like to keep them at least 2 weeks because their food source goes with them. It's just a bottle and milk. We do start to transition them over to cow's milk as well so that we can start getting the milk earlier, which is another reason why we really do like and choose to bottle feed the babies. If you let the dams raise them, you can still get the milk. Most people will lock the babies up at night. They get the first milk in the morning and then the babies get it the rest of the day. That is one option and one way that you can get the milk from the moms while the babies are still eating. But like I said, we choose to not do that because we can switch them over to cow's milk and then we can get all of the milk. The other reason is it teaches them to associate people with food, and it does help to create a friendlier goat in the long run. Now that's not to say that if they are dam raised, they're not going to be friendly and they're not going to be, loving on you or anything like that. What we have found is it just makes it a little bit easier for them to trust people, especially going into a new home, because they're going to associate that with food as opposed to just a fun playmate. So that's why we choose to bottle feed. I'm not going to say that it's for everyone, but for us, we have found that it is the best way. We will be doing a video later on about a method that we're going to try this year, which is basically like a bottle holder so that we can just load the bottles in there. They stick out, the babies can eat off of them, which will save us some time and just make it a lot easier. Sometimes when you're bottle feeding, it can get to be a little bit crazy when they're all wanting to eat at the same time and you don't have enough hands to feed them all at the same time. So these guys are only about a day and a half old, so they're still trying to get used to the bottle, figure it out, learn it. But once they do catch on to it, it is easy, it's cute, it's fun, and I mean, adorable. Who doesn't love baby goats, right? Okay, so normally you definitely would want to do this before they give birth. And once again, this was one of those things we were planning on doing actually last week, and we just never got around to it. So then it was on our list to get done Friday, and of course, didn't get it done in time. So basically, you want to shave them before they give birth because, I mean, with any birth, there's just a lot of extra stuff that comes out. And when they have fur and hair down there, it can get caught in it, and it's just not fun to clean up. The other reason we like to go ahead and shave them and shave their udders and everything else is because it's just a little bit more sanitary when you go to milk. You don't have to worry about as much hair falling into the milk. So we do strain it, so all that hair does get strained out, but it just makes it easier. Also makes it easier to clean them, to make sure there's no debris or anything like that that you wouldn't want mixing with the milk. No, we're definitely not going for a great haircut.
No, not at all.
Last year when I did it, it was the first time, and we definitely looked like we had some mangy goats on the back end. Essentially what you're wanting to do is just shave off all the hair on the back of the legs, and then kind of on the inside of the legs. And they're not going to like that, but as you can see, we put them into stanchion, lock them in, give them grain. She's very distracted by it, not a big deal. And then also about halfway down their belly. So if you're going from the udder towards the head, halfway that direction. And just anywhere that's in that milking vicinity, we just try to get all of that hair off of there and keep it nice and clean. Ideally, you do want to do this probably at least twice through the milking season or more, depending on just how particular you are about it. Last year, we actually only did it once, but by the end of the season, we were definitely straining out more hair and should have probably gone ahead and done it again. This year, we will be shaving at least one, if not two more times while they're in milk, just to keep all of that clean. We do just use just a regular like face buzzer shaver or one that you would use for like cutting your hair or something like that. It's nothing special. You do want to make sure you get somewhat of a good one just so you don't risk it, grabbing the hair, pulling it, or anything like that. And just like human hair, you want to do this when their hair is dry. It shouldn't ever be wet, but like if you go to wipe them off or something, you want to let it dry before you go in and try to shave them. But as you can see, not really much of an art form to it. You're just trying to clean up all the areas you want clean. And again, not going for looks or anything with this. We are not showing our goats, so we're not really concerned about that, and it doesn't bother them at all. I'm sure it's a nice cool breeze, especially this time of year when it hits that skin. But their skin is really tough. That was the other thing last year. I was so paranoid about hurting them, but I mean they really do have tough skin. You do want to be careful, but it usually doesn't bother them one bit.
Now we have some super fun video for your enjoyment, but that's all we have from us. So we hope you guys have a great week and be blessed.
Okay, so the absolute best part about having baby goats is this.